Today I begin chemotherapy, which is a bit of a weird thing to say, but I'm feeling alright about it. It's certainly less daunting than surgery, and yeah, I think that's the approach I've had to all of this journey so far, which is just to be positive and assume everything's going to be okay, perhaps wrongly so, seeing as surgery didn't work out too well for me. But I think this is going to be alright. Maybe that's naive, but I think I should cope with it quite well, and looking forward to meeting some interesting characters and learning more about the process. So I watched a talk on TED.com the other day, and I'll post a link to it in the comments below. And it was about a man who had lost his vision through brain surgery. And when he realised that his vision was gone, yeah, he had a really positive approach to it. Just the idea that he was still alive, and he was just happy to be alive, not worried about the fact that he could no longer see. And then went on to describe how he became much more in tune with his other senses and had a new experience of the world. And walking through a city, he could smell things, he could hear things better, and also that people were just far nicer to him. He'd have people just walking by and saying, "Good on you, brother," and "Keep it up, mate." And yeah, so and I'm finding the same experience. I'm finding people are being really nice to me, which not to say they were mean before, but I think having cancer is certainly makes people approach you differently, and that's something I'm kind of grappling with as well, which it's nice, but yeah, there's a part of me that feels like I've suddenly gained a lot of friends, which I feel like I'm the same person, but yeah, people are certainly treating me differently. And yeah, and then the other day I decided to take this gentleman's advice, and I stood outside and I closed my eyes, and yeah, I listened to the birds and felt the breeze on me and felt the sun on my back, and it did make me kind of engage with my other senses. Flies buzzing around my head, which is, yeah. So yeah, I think I'll take that approach more often and enjoy what I do have, and perhaps even when I'm lying on the lounge fatigued and nauseous from chemo. But yeah, so I'd encourage you to watch that talk and try it out for yourself. You might find that you enjoy the experience. And yeah, be nice to each other, even if someone doesn't have cancer. I'm finding I'm engaging with people a lot better now, and you know, sometimes the conversation can feel like it's just about cancer and treatment and things, but I'm also finding that it is just nice to talk to people. Yeah, people are far more interested, and when they ask, "How are you doing?" they're really interested in knowing how I'm doing, as opposed to just a greeting. So yeah, do that to everyone. So first dose of chemo is in and floating around my body. I went into the hospital today in the afternoon and spent 4 hours in there. So having the first drug, oxaliplatin, via this infuser port, and I didn't talk about this before, but yeah, that got inserted, just in case you wanted to see it, on last Friday. So it's just a little port that sits under my skin and allows them to administer the drug intravenously or via a more central line. So that's been hurting like hell over the weekend, which wasn't really an expected result. But yeah, it might be because I don't have much fat on these bones. So yeah, I can finally kind of lift my head above my arm again, which is good. Arm above my head. And yeah, so went to, so now I've come home with a nice little bum bag, and inside that is my other drug, which I have via this same infusion for 2 days. So yeah, my wife tells me I'm not allowed out of the house with this, so anyway. And yeah, so this will be in for 2 days, but I also go into the hospital tomorrow to have another drug for only about half an hour, and then on the third day I go back to hospital to have this needle taken out of my chest, out of the infuser port. So the hospital was a nice setting, just a small room with kind of 4 chairs kind of facing each other, and the nurses are lovely, and I found this nice little card there. Your brother or sister has cancer, now what? So that might be helpful for my brothers, except that I just read on the back, it says young people aged 12 to 24 now have somewhere to turn, so that's rules them out, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll cope. Yeah, so far so good. Nothing's no disastrous side effects, and yeah, we'll see how we go over the next couple of days.